It is just 1 minute past 10 p.m. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. Welcome to UBC News Tonight. Coming to you live from the Nile Avenue. My name is Sharon Chomjisha. We start off with President Yoweri Museveni, this afternoon, who has met with a special envoy from the Republic of Sudan, His Excellency Malik Agar Aire, who was accompanied by a delegation. His Excellency Malik is the Deputy Chairperson of the Transitional Sovereignty Council. Now, during the meeting at the State Lodge in Nakasero, the two leaders discussed matters relating to the current state in Sudan and deliberated on frameworks for resolving the conflict in the Republic of Sudan. President Yoweri Museveni has met with Dr. Luisa Moreno this afternoon to discuss strategies for the country's mineral sector. Dr. Moreno, an esteemed physics engineer with a PhD in material science and mechanics from Imperial College London, has established herself as a leading analyst in rare earth elements and a prolific author on mineral processing and project financing. Now, during the meeting held at State Lodge Nakasero, the president highlighted that his collaboration with Dr. Moreno is geared towards complementing his vision of large-scale industrialization. President Museveni echoed Dr. Moreno's insights, reiterating his long-standing belief in the importance of an integrated and self-sustaining economy. The president provided stark comparisons of the value addition potential, noting that copper increases from $1,350 per ton to $5,800 when processed into blister cathode, and bauxite jumps from $45 to $1,800 when refined. To move forward, President Museveni directed the Ministries of Science and Technology and Energy to collaborate with Dr. Moreno in forming a joint team. Dr. Moreno said that her comprehensive work involves three key phases: assessing the current state of Uganda's minerals and value addition sectors, developing an action plan for implementing recommendations, and focusing on value addition in the metal market industry. She also said that her extensive travels across Uganda, including different regions such as Gulu, Kabale, Ntungam and Karamoja, allowed her to gain an in-depth understanding of the country's mineral sector. She highlighted the importance of enhancing steel production and consumption in Africa, noting that the continent produces only 1% and consumes 2% of the global steel output. And of course, in more stories with the president, today Muslims across the country are celebrating Eid Adha this Sunday. And the acting chairman of the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, Haj Issa Gule, was briefing the media on a recent court decision regarding Mufti Sheikh Shaban Mubajir during a meeting held in Kampala. Take a look.
As Muslims celebrate Eid al-Adha this Sunday, a lot of water is going under the bridge. The Muslims are expected to pray for peace and harmony during the prayers. The acting chairman of the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, Haj Issa Gule, has said that they are ready to uphold a recent court decision regarding the Mufti of Uganda, Sheikh Shaban Mubajir.
In its sitting of December 15th, 16th, and 17th, 2023, resolved to and relieve Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubajir from being Mufti of Uganda.
Members of the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council General Assembly gathered in Gangu echoed this stance, underscoring Justice Shamila Ntambi's judgment that conclusively ousted Mubajir from his role as a Mufti.
So mujje tusale bannayo, mujje mubungi tusale, ewali kutya security we egenda kubanga ntebenkevu bulungi.
Acting Chairman Gule further declared that any claim by Mubajir to the title of Mufti or attempts to lead prayers would be deemed criminal offences.
We are having a court order. We received a court order which was dated 7th May 2024. So with effect from that date, Mubajje is no longer a Mufti of Uganda.
Sheikh Abdallah Semambo Tumusuza is currently serving as the acting Mufti, although he is on pilgrimage. His representative Muhammad Iruba cautioned that any attempt by Mubajje to lead prayers would violate the court order, potentially leading to prosecution.
As we talk now, ekisinga obukulu gye tuli si kutomerakanira ku bituuti by'emizigiti wabula okulabanga emirembe weegiri. Press conference ya leero ebadde yakutegeeza Munnayuganda yonna gy'ali nti Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubajje yawumuzibwa era ekiragiro kya kooti weekiri.
However, Uganda Muslim Supreme Council Deputy Secretary General Haj Ali Muhammad Aluma dismissed the court ruling as legitimate, expressing ignorance of the allegations against Mubajje.
Whatever SG had sent me, I've seen it. These are forgeries, Namwe.
Yeah.
These are forgeries. But forgeries, either they connived with this lady, because we've been in court even after. We've been in court on 17th. There was nothing like that. We went on 15th. There was no order like that. Now, today you are coming to tell us that the order came out. If Mukirwa signs, they made it as a forgery after.
The Uganda Muslim Supreme Council General Assembly had previously expelled Mubajje in a meeting held in Gangu last December, appointing Sheikh Abdallah Semambo Tumusuza in his place. Legal disputes have since ensued regarding this decision. Jamil Sekaja has reported for UBC.
Thank you so much, Jamil Sekaja. The Uganda Law Society is not happy with the arrest of Busiki constituency Member of Parliament Paul Akamba after he had been granted bail. Through its president, Bernard Owundo, the ULS says that the rearrest of Honorable Paul Akamba within the court premises was illegal and uncalled for. Take a look.
Other grounds.
The Chief Magistrate of Anti-Corruption Court, Joan Yasiro, released the Busiki constituency Member of Parliament Paul Akamba on a cash bail of 13 million Ugandan shillings after meeting the required bail terms. He was however rearrested and driven away in a white drone with armed security personnel. The Uganda Law Society has condemned the manner in which Paul Akamba was rearrested.
It means that when people look at these actions, they start to think that even a court order is not important. They start to think that even a court order will not be respected. Because if it's going to be respected, why do you rearrest him?
Bernard Owundo says such acts by security operatives portray a bad image of the rule of law in the country and interfere with the judiciary.
But more importantly, as a country, we need to reflect on our constitution. We need to reflect on the preamble of our constitution. The preamble of our constitution reflects on our historical background. Some of these things that are happening, it's important that we don't go back to those days that people would just be picked up and then be able and be taken.
Owundo emphasized that due process must be followed in rearresting suspects, particularly when pending charges are involved.
You cannot wait for him in the precincts of the court premises after he has been given bail and you rearrest him. Clearly, anyone who says he has another charge to answer will just be an afterthought to try and clearly defend what happened. But for you to be able to rearrest someone who has just been granted bail in the precincts of the court premises and using AK-47 and using all manner of ammunition that we saw in the video, it's clearly a violation of his personal rights.
This is not the first time plainclothes security operatives have rearrested suspects after being granted bail.
People should be arrested once investigations are complete. The argument of going to court and saying investigations are still pending, and while you have someone actually presumed innocent, you continue to violate his right to the presumption of innocence.
In the Anti-Corruption Court, members of Parliament Yusuf Mutembuli for Bunyole West, Paul Akamba for Busiki constituency, and Sisi Namuju are facing charges of corruption, Prosecution alleges that on 13th May 2024, at Hotel Africana in Kampala, the three legislators solicited undue advantage of 20% from the chairperson Uganda Human Rights Commission, Mariam Wangadia, in order to increase the commission's budget. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Amanya gange nze Namutebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyennyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere weewaawo abafere gye bali naye ennamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanya eyo si yabafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo 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 era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo mwebale nnyo mwebalire.
Together we're unstoppable.
We're so sorry about the mishap, but we continue with UBC News tonight. And of course, the High Court in Kabale has denied bail to Valentino Agaba Kwishima Bariburuhe, a 40-year-old court bailiff from Hamunora Village, Rubanda District. Agaba stands accused of murdering Kalist Sande, a primary school teacher residing in Nyakarembe Sub-County, Kisoro District. Now, locals reportedly approached Sande's home requesting his assistance with transporting a patient to the hospital. He was later found killed just meters from his residence. Agaba applied for bail, citing health issues and the availability of reliable sureties. However, Justice Samuel Emokor of the Kabale High Court rejected the request.
AM and awake my brother and murder him. Then after murdering him, they stole his phone. Not until even I tracked and I arrested the suspects with the phone who are relatives to Agaba still. So I got surprised. I wonder how he's requesting a high court bail really after doing all of this, leaving 80 orphans, but for him he's just crying over 6 and he's not considering a person whom he murdered. Really, I want the world to see all of these crimes he has been committing. That is why I am very happy.
Amazina mbanyipati Shemerugwe Doreen, sister w'omushaija wubayitire Master Sande Karisti. Shemerugwe munonga bugira ngo High Court yayanga okwesingirwa kwa Agaba Kwishima Valentino. Ekinanisha government nanisha ngo egume twase ekyondoze nebisigireyo then tushabo bwenkanya omu government yitu ya Uganda.
In more news, the president-elect of the Lions Club of Entebbe Road, District 411B, Lion Loy Muramura, has called for more members to join the Lions Club to enhance service delivery to the less privileged. This was in her acceptance speech as the new president of the club for the year 2024-2025, where she also revealed that the club's strategy this time around is supposed to raise 1.5 million members. Take a look.
The Lions Club has always been a beacon of hope and support, providing essential services and care to those in need. ranging from vision, hunger, diabetes, cancer and the environment. The president-elect of the Lions Club of Entebbe Road, Lion Loy Muramura, says there is so much to achieve with joint efforts.
In Lions, the recruitment is by invitation. So we plan to invite as many people as possible through friends. And once you like it, you join the club and we serve. And that member brings another member. It's like a chain of recruitment.
We're already in it. And once you have taken the badge of 1.5, you must make it a point. You bring 1 to 2 members to join in.
Muramura highlighted the activities the club is going to carry out during her term as president.
Month of July, we shall have Peace Post contest, launch, and training of club leaders. August, hunger and relief activity. We shall distribute food and household items to the less fortunate community. The month of September, we shall do tree planting, and our target is 5,000 trees. The month of October, it will be World Sight Day. We shall have a medical camp.
So I want to encourage all of you to do your activities, and also do recruitment of new members.
Outgoing President Lion Fabian Biomohanji attests to the dedication of the club, which has led to tremendous achievements despite its young age. He encouraged the club members to cooperate with the new leadership.
It has been a whirlwind with unbelievable energy from club members. The many activities that we undertook, including the comprehensive medical camp, the publication of the first edition of our magazine, the support we have given those with eye issues, especially, and I want to particularly mention Caroline Nabukera, whom we are taking as our signature, the environmental activities including planting of trees, the activities we undertook in hunger and relief.
7 new members were inducted into the club. They pledged total support to the club to help the less privileged.
And in other capacities, where my efforts are needed. And thank you and welcome into the membership of Lions Club of Entebbe Road.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
In more news, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development and its member states have taken steps to manage and address migration and mobility challenges in the region. In an exclusive interview with Lucy Egert, head of mission in Uganda, she explains what the protocol on free movement means to the region. Abigaba reports.
The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, and member states are advocating for a free visa space, and with the protocol on free movement, this can be possible. The head of mission in Uganda elaborates more on what the protocol means.
Now, a free movement region has a baseline indicator, and the first baseline indicator of a free movement regime is a visa-free region. Member states must enjoin themselves to waive off and abolish visas. And the spirit of this protocol is a visa-free region, not just in spirit, but also in truth, because it is in the articles of the protocol that member states will abolish visa fees and that member states will also provide for work permits when citizens have secured jobs across the borders.
The protocol on free movement have been signed so far by 5 IGAD member states out of the 7. Kenya and Djibouti are yet to sign as they requested for more time for consultation.
Because the 8th is state of Eritrea, but we did not undertake the consultations in the state of Eritrea because it was not yet back in the bloc. Now it's back in the bloc. So we are left with a signature from the government of Kenya and also the government of Djibouti. Now, the 2 governments have requested the Secretariat to give them some time because they would like to study internally their legislative environment to see how then they can bring the protocols on board. However, you must note that they were both involved right from the beginning of the consultations of the protocol. They attended all meetings on the development of the protocol. Their ministers endorsed the protocols.
IGAD experts say that the citizens of the member state shall have the right to enter, stay, move freely and exit the territory of another member state in accordance with the policies, laws, regulations and procedures of the host member state. They also discussed the IGAD protocol on transhumanists, which allows member states to recognize and permit free and safe seasonal cross-border mobility of livestock and herds in search of pasture and water as an adaptation and survival mechanism.
It brings order to free movement of the pastoral communities. These are the communities which have enjoyed free movement without using papers. They do not recognize borders. They are ever moving across the borders. So this protocol brings order into the way they move. It brings order into the way they handle the affairs in terms of services, access to resources. And in this protocol, it commits the member states to invest more resources to these communities which have been left behind for long. Looking forward to several years to come, that they will be able to graduate slowly from the nomadic way of living to also a more, established lifestyle.
It should be noted that on June 11th, 2024, Kenya signed the Intergovernmental Authority on Development Protocol on Transhumanists. Kenya becomes the 6th IGAD member state to sign the protocol, following Ethiopia, Sudan, South Sudan, Uganda and Djibouti. The Transhumanist Protocol was adopted during the 72nd Transordinary Session of the IGAD Council of Ministers of Foreign Affairs held in June 2021. Whereas the Protocol on Free Movement of Persons is enshrined in the 1996 agreement that establishes the IGAD. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Zahara Abigaba. In the other news, the Chancellor, Kabale University and Senior Presidential Advisor on Kigezi Region, Professor George Mondo Kagonyere, says that ignorance is a societal ailment which needs to be overcome. He was officiating the graduation ceremony of Vienna College Namgongo in Wakiso District, where over 255 students completed their studies.
And IT. Senior Presidential Advisor on Kigezi and his Chancellor Kabale University, Professor Mondo Kagonyera, has emphasized the importance of government prioritizing the Equalization Fund to invest in education nationwide as a pivotal strategy to combat ignorance and poverty in Uganda.
For ignorance is the worst disease you can have, and in order to fight poverty, we must be an educated society. And that's why I stress that as a country we should invest more in education of our people. And this education should spread along the whole country. It's not enough in Kampala or Wakiso, but it should be in Moroto, it should be in Jumani, it should be in Kisoro. This education, the standards should be good all over the country. That's the best way to equalize our people. It even makes political life easier.
Professor Mondo Kagonyera also called for concerted efforts among stakeholders to combat the alarming rise of drug abuse in schools. He highlighted drug abuse as a perilous trend, citing its detrimental effects on crucial neurotransmitters and brain function.
Drugs kill people. Therefore, the worst thing a person can do is to use drugs. That's why I was saying that our parents, government, and even our children, we should work together to avoid the use of drugs.
The principal of Vienna College Namugongo Muhammad Kachika commended graduating class for overcoming unprecedented challenges posed by COVID-19 pandemic, which disrupted their traditional instructional methods and necessitated a shift to online learning. He also expressed gratitude to government for introducing a revised O-level curriculum focusing on practical training and student skill development.
And we are pleased that the Ugandan children who are studying in the national curriculum are also going to benefit from the new structures that are there in the international curriculum. I only urge the government to give it the necessary resources, because this kind of teaching requires a lot of resources and training. So the teachers must be trained, the resources must be available to the schools to be able to implement it. And
of the graduates, 114 received the International General Certificate of Secondary Education, equivalent to Uganda's O-level, while 141 students from Year 13 graduated with the Advanced Subsidiary level, equivalent to A-level. Robert Katamba, UBC News.
Residents of the landing site area of Bujiri Chiwulwe in Katabi Town Council, Wakiso District have benefited from a new classroom block at Eward Integrated Primary School. Take a look.
The Rotary Club of Nkumba, in conjunction with Rotary Club of St. Catherine and other clubs in the Rotary District 7090 in Ontario, Canada, and with the generous support of Rotarian Henry Baker, have contributed towards Uganda's education. This by constructing a 4-classroom block at the Eward Integrated Primary School in the landing site area of Bujiri Chiwulwe in Katabi Town Council, Wakiso District, with a capacity of over 200 students.
Being in the vicinity of a landing site, I feel and I see that this project is going to really benefit these people, because traditionally here in Uganda, most landing sites have been associated with low levels of education, early marriages, teenage pregnancies.
The classroom block that costs about 300 million has been commissioned with plaudits to the generous hand of the Rotary.
Even those that go to school, sometimes they find harsh conditions at school. They move long distances. Sometimes they don't eat lunch. Now, Rotary has brought a school near them, which is very much affordable.
We are happy. The community has embraced the project, and we see an increase in enrollment. Every time there is an increase, and we know that it is going to keep growing, and we will have children who are attaining quality education. The key is quality.
The project also includes a water harvesting facility that is purposely intended to provide clean and safe water to the school community.
And we got some surplus funding to do a water harvesting system. You have seen behind. There are 2 tanks of 10,000 liters each. So there are 5 taps for hand washing for the children.
This newly constructed Christine Baker Memorial Block is expected to kickstart key transformations at the school, with focus on improving the quality of candidates. The occasion was graced by the incoming Rotary Club President of Nkumba University, President Gabriel Chigozi, who will be installed on 12th July 2024, and other district and club leaders.
Now, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has made a heartfelt appeal to the government to address the urgent need of a national diaspora policy to remove constraints that affect the dignity of the diaspora and ensure their full participation in national development. This appeal was made during the closure of a 4-day retreat of diplomatic heads of mission from ring states aimed at mobilizing support for Uganda's development through exports.
The diaspora community plays a vibrant and integral role in the nation, contributing immensely to national development. However, many in the diaspora face constraints that limit their ability to fully participate in the growth of our country. The head of Diaspora Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Johnny Mohindo, emphasized the importance of a diaspora policy to ensure that every member of the diaspora feels valued and has the opportunity to contribute to national development.
It's going to help us to govern, manage, and serve our diaspora wherever they are. in there will be legal instruments on how we can deal with helping these people when they are in trouble. If, for example, you have had cases on your own TVs where we have found that some of our people have had their internal organs removed. How can we extradite a person who did this and bring him to our courts here in Uganda? How do we have these victims compensated?
Mohindo highlighted the need to support and unite the diaspora community through effective engagement, allowing them to invest, innovate, and inspire back home.
Protecting, sensitizing, and mobilizing that diaspora, so that once these people have trust in government, they don't need many things. They are actually, when you visit them, you talk to them, they are like abandoned kids. When they see Ruto going to meet his diaspora in Washington, President Kagame is meeting his in Europe, and they are invited to go to attend those functions. Their question is, where is ours?
Uganda's head of mission in Tanzania, His Excellency General Fred Mwesige, mentioned that through joint venture partnerships, Tanzania has placed an order of 1,700 buses from Kira Motors. Mwesige stated that this is a significant breakthrough for Uganda.
I'm happy to report that by yesterday, 7 inquiries totaling to almost 1,700 buses. Inquiry, they want 1,700 buses. The 700 most likely are diesel buses. The 1,000 are for the rapid bus service. Those will be using CNG, condensed natural gas, or electricity. And this is going to be a big breakthrough.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Now, Kiswahili teachers in primary schools are advocating for the government to introduce Kiswahili as a compulsory language from kindergarten, aimed to establish a solid foundation for its widespread adoption. They made these appeals to date during the launch of the Kiswahili Primary School Teachers Association held at Kampala Parents School.
Kiswahili primary teachers are urging the government to introduce Kiswahili language in primary schools to lay a solid foundation for its spread. Various primary schools across the country that offer Kiswahili converged at Kampala Parent School for the first Kiswahili MDD. The principal education officer in the basic department, Hajat Safina Mutamba, has affirmed the government's commitment to support Kiswahili, emphasizing its prioritization in the upcoming strategic plan.
2026, and I'm happy to inform you that Swahili stood out to be number 1. I happen to be an ECD specialist, and I'm directly under the pre-primary division. I'll make sure that I also push for NCTC, and now that we are reviewing the learning framework, we have come up with the early years experiences curriculum. I'll make sure that we include component of Swahili, so that our children come from pre-primary when they have some vocabulary in Swahili.
Kiswahili teachers believe that the primary decision makers for implementing the compulsory Kiswahili initiative lie within the education commissioners.
Commissioner in charge of primary education, commissioner in charge of secondary, commissioner in charge of technical and business institutions. Baveyo balambike ekintu bakiteke mu nkola lwokuba tukirabye leero nti kisoboka mu primary abaana batulaze tibogera Luswahili balusoma n'amasomero ga private gatulaze nti gasomesa abasomesa babawadde emirimu, so baveyo kati basomesa abaana commissioner bakole ekintu kino bakiteke mu nkola.
Welcome Crispus, a teacher at Kampala Parent School. I take this wonderful opportunity to thank the Almighty God for making us and for enabling us to reach on this very great day. It's been really interesting we have managed to host very many schools at Kampala Parent School in primary Kiswahili students, hosted by, organized by Uganda National Kiswahili Association.
Many primary schools that have embraced Kiswahili language education are private institutions, which raises important considerations beyond surface level observations.
As far as we are concerned as Chakitau, which is the Uganda National Kiswahili Association, and which we abbreviate as Chakitau, is an umbrella organization that brings together all other associations in the country, including other stakeholders and other people who love Kiswahili, so that we work together and develop Kiswahili in the country, promote it, in terms of working together, so that when we work together, we are stronger. We are stronger together, instead of one person speaking as a teacher, speaking as a simple association, maybe of teachers of primary, teachers of secondary, or even at university. We need each other.
Elimu ni bahari na mtoto umleavyo ndivyo akuavyo.
Quite interesting for the children to speak Kiswahili. Now, moving on from that, preparations for this year's Day of African Child are nearing completion as Uganda gears up to commemorate the occasion on Sunday, June 16th, with celebrations set to unfold in Nakasongola district.
The 16th June, Uganda joins the continent in marking the Day of the African Child, dedicated to spotlighting the challenges faced by African children and advocating for solutions. As part of this year's events, a one-day youth parliament session has been organized, bringing together young participants to discuss their aspirations for the future.
Why we decided to pick Kiradongo district local government to host as the host venue, you realize that if you look at the police crime reports for 2023, most of the violations happening to children are actually in Kiradongo here. Kiradongo is either number 1 in sexual abuse or number 2.
Ahead of the celebration slated for Sunday, 16th June 2024 in Kiradongo district, a children's parliament has convened to deliberate on the current status and issues affecting children.
The issues that are facing or hindering the children of Africa from studies are the following, like early marriage. Let me first speak about early marriage and define. First and foremost, early marriage, this is a type of marriage where the couples join in at a tender age. This is to say that the age below 18 years.
With insecurities around the world displacing many children and turning them into refugees, there is urge for global solidarity in safeguarding future generations.
Children must be raised, must be created in the family, a good family who gives security, love, empathy, and have all the conditions that they need to grow up. But we still face many challenges in Africa. We have children affected by armed conflicts, children who is put in the war, and we have many problems in Africa.
Focused on the theme Education for All Children in Africa, the event underscores the urgency of addressing these issues, culminating in Sunday's activities in Kiradongo district.
Some of the issues, if you listen to the children, what they are bringing out here, they are saying government should help to deploy teachers, trained teachers. The children with disability are asking for brailles. They are asking even for teachers who are able to teach the children with disabilities. They are asking for infrastructure. To all those, they are asking parents also to take their responsibility. So these are some of the things.
Roberts Onyango, UBC News.
Lugazi Bishop Christopher Kakoza has emphasized the need to strengthen family values among believers in their community. Take a look.
Parents of St. Agnes Girls Boarding Primary School in Nagarama, Kono, came in large numbers to celebrate the Holy Mass and witness their children receiving confirmation and the sacrament of Eucharist of the Catholic religion. A total of 352 pupils were adorned in white gowns for this colorful day. 95 received the sacrament of the Holy Eucharist, 100 received the sacrament of confirmation, and 157 made their commitment in faith. The head teacher of St. Agnes Girls Boarding Primary School, Nagarama, Sister Rosemary Basemera, thanked all parents and teachers who have instructed the 352 pupils.
Ask you to continue being a source of nourishment and spiritual growth to your children by the way you live and behave. Let them learn from you the virtues of love, honesty, endurance in prayer, and others.
The Bishop Lugazi Diocese, Christopher Kokoza, presided over the colorful celebration of the sacrament. He emphasized the importance of family in the proper upbringing of children, urging parents to exercise their duties and responsibilities to the young ones.
Yefutulura y'obulamu kwe twepimira ne bwe tuba tukuze ne bwe tuba tukaddiye. Awo nno munyweze amaka gammwe gabe malungi, amaka gammwe gabeeremu essanyu, amaka gammwe ebeere futulura abaana kwe bajjanga okwepimira. Kino baatugamba nti kirungi katukikole. Mukama.
Robert Katamba, UBC News.
Now, Uganda celebrated Uganda Matters Day early this month, focusing on Kabaka Mwanga Basamulekere, a central figure in ordering the murder of mainly the palace pages. However, one cannot talk about Mwanga's reign without mentioning Bulingugwe Island, situated in Lake Victoria, east of Munyonyo. Take a look.
Victoria, the largest freshwater lake on the African continent and probably one of the largest in the world. A massive water body dotted with numerous islands, with Sese Islands forming the largest archipelago on the continent. Bulingugwe Island, a seemingly insignificant tiny island, stands barely 400 meters from the mainland Munyonyo, a once favorite pastime getaway place for Kabaka Mwanga, one of the powerful Buganda monarchs. This pathway, now overgrown with grass and abandoned, was once a gateway to board his favorite canoe Waswa to Bulingugwe over 120 years ago. The path has continued to dwindle in the last 3 years due to the rising water levels of the lake. Bulingugwe is considered a sacred island of significant cultural and historical importance for Buganda. It is dawn, and I set out with my crew to explore the mystery and glamour of the island and also try to understand why Kabaka Mwanga was obsessed by it. The golden glow of the sunrise rays beaming on the calm waters, the captivating sounds of the singing birds, the sight of the fishermen casting their nets, and the boat laden with passengers going to 10 gardens, all blend well to give the lake the charms and beauty as we head for the island. The 10-minute boat ride ends with our boat docking to the site of a typical Waganda village, banana gardens dotted with cassava plantations, giving the island a fresh lush greenery. It is evidently clear that the island is sparsely populated.
Kizinga Bulingugwe kuliko abasirikale ba SWAT batugamba bakuumira Aga Khan, era kuliko n'ebipande biriko property ya Aga Khan. Era kuliko n'abatuuze baffe abava eno n'abakozi abakolerako nga bava ku kino ekyalo kyennyini ne bagenda bakola okwo babasasula omusaala okubanga bakolera okwo.
As we edge into the island, we're pleasantly surprised to encounter shrine-like relics that are endemic to Waganda culture, reminiscent of the bygone era yet still relevant in Uganda.
Ntwalayo abantu ku kizinga abagenda mu bintu by'okusamira, bagenda ne batwalayo abalwadde kazinga ako babasawula n'emmenge ekyagendayo tukyalinayo obwakabaka bwaffe.
Moving up the hill through a labyrinth reveals more verdant, a biodiversity haven that ends into other shrines. Although seemingly abandoned, they are still visited by the Kabaka.
Amasaba ago ga njawulo. Kuliko amasabo ga mirundi 4. Essabo erisooka lye bayita okwaniriza omugenyi azze okutabaala ensozi. Essabo eryokubiri erikkirizibwa Nnaabagereka wa Buganda okujja wabanga azze n'atuulawo oba n'afukamirawo n'asabirawo. Era waliwo oluzzi olulaga nti Nnaabagereka wabazze n'asabirawo. Eryokusatu y'entikko ey'Obwakabaka bwa Buganda nga Ssaabasajja Muwenda Mutebi azze oba Kabaka wa Buganda watuuka n'afukamira n'asaba. Essabo eryokuna lye naffe bakinnoomu ng'Abaganda bwe tujja nga twambadde tuggumidde naffe ne tufukamira ne tusaba bye twetaaga. Essabo eryokutaano omukazi ayagala okuzaala oba omuntu yabula wajja n'afukamira n'osaba n'obaako ne by'obikkawo.
Bulingugwe Island is specifically known as Mwanga's favorite place that he would take time off to relax. It is here that he practiced his favorite water sport and also hippo hunting, another of his favorite pastime activity.
He had a navy, inherited from his father, and he's the one who started the canoe regatta at Munyonyo. Is also his legacy, these canoe competitions. And he was very fond of hunting hippos.
Ssaabasajja Kabaka wa Buganda abadde nga asimbulira wano amaato g'empaka geetoolodde ekizinga kino mpaka lwe gakomawo wano mu mwalo.
His love for water endeared Mwanga to have a man-made lake constructed in Mengo with intention to create a channel connecting it to Munyonyo.
Mwanga loved water, and one of his most enduring legacy is the Kabaka's Lake. And if the British had not spoiled his plans, he wanted to link Mengo, his palace, to Munyonyo by digging a canal from the lake to Munyonyo.
Although he had had a Christian upbringing, Kabaka Mwanga is famously remembered for persecuting Christians, a persecution that culminated into a massacre of Christian converts leading to the current celebrated Uganda Martyrs. But what caused him to vent such ruthless brutality on these young men?
He went for the converts, not because necessarily they were Christian converts, but because conversion had turned them into political rebels who rebelled against his political authority.
The fact that all the 22 were young men and not any woman was martyred raises public suspicion that Mwanga was probably homosexual and that he killed them for refusing his sexual advances, a claim disputed by scholars and historians.
That's the colonial narrative. If you wanted to really ruin his reputation, you had to think of something which was patently anti-Baganda. When Natas died, Mwanga had 14 wives. In Uganda, if the king adopts a certain habit, those people around him, the chiefs, do the same thing. So if Mwanga had been a homosexual, all the Kagwaza and the Mugwanyas should have been homosexuals because these were the people around him.
In the patriarchal norms of the day, women were not pages. So he killed pages because they were already boys.
Another popular belief that his brutal behavior was precipitated by drugs consumption, specifically marijuana. Another claim scholars dispute.
It is true that Mwanga, some of his supporters, were what they called the futabanji. They used the weed, mainly from Mavira forest. That gave them courage. But if you were Geno, it would be stupid to smoke bang, because then who would give the command?
Mwanga's reign was plagued by countless armed conflicts, ranging from family succession struggles together with religious and colonial power struggles. These forces eventually ganged up together against him, forcing him out of his official palace in Mengo to Bulingugwe, where he sought refuge on the 24th of January 1892.
Mwanga confronted powerful global forces. He was inexperienced, he was young, and he was betrayed.
He was a pawn in these wars. He wanted to retain his power, and he was kicked like a ball from one group to the other. And his children had been killed by Kalema, his brother, the Muslim Kabaka. He wanted to remove all opposition. He even killed his daughters.
Because of its strategic location, Bulingugwe was one of the islands in Lake Victoria that Kabaka Mwanga made his military base. This enabled him to take full control of Lake Naluvale, as it is traditionally known.
Bulingugwe played a big role in the struggle against the imposition of British colonial rule, because right from around 1894, he began to buy arms from the Arabs and ivory. All his goodies were stored there. And his trusted generals were positioned there. People like Gabriel Kintu, one of his leading generals, they had their headquarters at Bulingugwe.
Fleeing to Bulingugwe did not deter his enemies from following him there. With Captain Lugard's superior military prowess backed by the Maxine gun, Mwanga was forced out of Bulingugwe.
This was the major massacre executed by the British and their supporters against the Baganda. So 700 were killed.
The British defeated them. They had the Maxim gun, and the Africans had either this one bullet loader or just a spear. With no experience, they would shoot while they are standing.
Bulingugwe was looted and devastated. Chiefs who hated Mwanga helped themselves to the various properties at the island, including the island itself, which was taken over by Ham Mukasa, a prominent Buganda chief who had allied closely with the colonialists.
Reverend Zimbe, who was on the British side, describes in his book, Buganda ne Kabaka, what they did there. Women were abducted, men were killed, a lot of property was taken. Mwanga escaped and many of his followers, but others could not make it.
Even when he returned, Mwanga would not compromise on the retention of independence for Buganda. Therefore, he decided to fight against the colonialists together with their local chiefs' backers. However, he could not match this combined force of rebels.
It was not only betraying the Kabaka, the Christians were fighting Muslims, the Christians were fighting amongst themselves. So these new identities were competing for power and influence in that short period and had to confront global forces. Who else could confront those global forces and manage to defeat them at that time on the African continent? Everybody who tried to resist those global forces actually lost out.
In 1897, chiefs in Kanso deposed Mwanga and appointed his son Daudi Chwa II as Kabaka, making him the youngest king to ascend to the throne in Buganda. Chwa ascended to the throne on the 14th of August, 1897. After a series of wars during which Mwanga was defeated, he was subsequently captured together with his ally Kabalega and exiled in the Seychelles. Mwanga later on died on the 8th of May, 1903.
The doctors have explained to me that if he had had an operation, he could have survived. But he refused to have that operation because in our traditions, kings don't spill blood. And once they spill blood, they have to die. Because on learning that his son, 13-month-old son, had become king, he made this exclamation, "Oh, Buganda sigadde njerere."
To many, Mwanga is considered a villain, while a few have an opposite picture of him.
By the standards of today, these are different standards of human rights issues, of whatever. Kabaka Mwenga was not the worst killer of Buganda kings. Actually, Mutesa, I'm told, killed more people. So are other kings.
The massacre by the British of Mwanga's followers at Bulingugwe qualifies as a colonial crime. Today, countries of the Global South and members of BRICS are talking about setting up a colonial crimes tribunal to try elements from the former colonial powers that committed appalling crimes during colonization. Bulingugwe is certainly a candidate for such a court to consider. Meanwhile, Bulingugwe Island remained a property of Ham Mukasa and became a family property passed on from generation to generation.
These big chiefs grab whatever land they want. And Ham Mukasa surveyed it for the 1900 land settlement and took it. Now, if you say that my greatest enemy has given me land, is that credible? No. So Ham Mukasa was a bitter enemy of Mwanga. They were fighting him. And how can somebody you're fighting give you land?
Today, the ownership of Bulingugwe Island is contested. Research shows it was listed as a property of Ham Mukasa, later sold to Mukwano and then gifted to Madivan. On the other hand, some Baganda culturalists believe the island should remain a preserve of the kingdom.
Bulingugwe should really be a Buganda War Museum. So whoever owns Bulingugwe today, the Baganda should appeal to him or them to either give it back to the Baganda, or the Baganda should be allowed to buy it back, because it is a major anchor of our history of the struggle against British rule.
They may be now legally owned by somebody who looks at the economic property value. But the other claimants in this contestation are looking at it as land with a historical value and contested. And who will win? Most likely it is the one who will be having the political power. So whoever wins it, it will be determined by the political value.
Ngenda kusanyuka nnyo nga Buganda buno buzzeewo ng'omuzungu yabusangira nga ne gavumenti zintukanya bukanya nazo wano kabaka yatutegeera.
Attempt to get a comment from Buganda Land Board about the matter was futile as they declined to give us an interview. Sharon Chomjisha, UBC News.
Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow of a subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Welcome to UBC Business Stories. There's a common perception among people that money spoils children, but a financial literacy program dubbed Chaching is challenging the perception by teaching primary school children how to earn, save, spend, and donate money. At the closing ceremony of a one-week training session for pupils held today at Chitante Primary Schools, parents were urged to actively support their children in financial matters.
Pupils from Buganda Road Primary School recite a poem on financial literacy. They are among 10,928 pupils from 72 schools in the Kampala metropolitan area who have been trained on financial literacy by Junior Achievement Uganda.
I learned ways how people earn, save, spend wisely, and donate to the needy. After learning the churching curriculum, I requested my parents to make for me a saving box, which I do whenever I receive money so that I can meet my goals.
The financial literacy program taught the pupils important financial skills.
Remember, Africans, we have a poor saving culture, but when we teach these learners these aspects, they can save little money that they earn from their parents and from different ways.
This program is teacher-led and has been ongoing since 2017, using a curriculum developed by Junior Achievement Uganda and Prudential Uganda.
We developed the curriculum, so during implementation, we identify schools. The schools recommend specific teachers whom we retool, and after retooling them, they are able to deliver the program with the support of a few volunteers from Prudential Uganda.
You can manage your
The program has been focused in the Kampala metropolitan area with the plans to expand to schools across the country.
At the end of this program, the children understand how money is earned. That it's not a matter of their parents waking up and going downtown Kampala where there's a very big tree of money and you pluck as much as you can. No, it has to be earned.
Initially, some parents were concerned about the complexity of the concepts being taught.
We've had cases where parents complain that we are teaching hard concepts to primary kids, but along the way they have actually appreciated.
It's been a very good project that my daughter has participated in, and at one time I was impressed out of the savings that she's been making that contributed to the purchase of the school requirements that were made for this term.
An estimated 25,000 pupils are expected to enroll in this program next year, with the second phase set to begin in September this year. Diano Olwen Peters, UBC News in Kampala.
Women in Ntungamo district have attributed their financial empowerment to government policy of allowing savings and credit cooperative societies to operate. They mainly appreciate President Museveni for the support that he has enabled women access funds at low interest. The women, however, call for longer grace periods from the saving and credit cooperative societies that benefited from tax holidays gifted by government and allowed them to mature financially. These ladies in Ntungamo mainly access funds at Muntunyera Savings and Credit Cooperative Society that was started by teachers but now serves the community.
Because they have already accepted that. And I have called it Boamani. It is Boamani Company Limited. So whoever you are, if you can go to a circle like that one, and you use it wisely, and you follow the education that the circle is giving us, you can't go wrong.
There is a loan. Government yatwa sente ahamwerwa mwaka tukatandika kushashura mazima ntujaganirwa owatwareze sente akazito munyanya akazito mbichori nomangu no washarwire wagarizeyo naro kazito mu enkoko no wakutungire kabiri mazima tezikakore nishashura.
So the tax holiday that was given to us was the money that was to be paid to ULA was given people, and savings have increased.
Following the passing of Uganda's national budget for 2024-2025, totaling to 72.136 trillion shillings, A conference convened by KPMG brought together stakeholders including business leaders, auditors, accountants and tax experts to analyze its implications.
2024-2025 budget set at 72.136 trillion shillings. Minister of Finance and Planning Matia Kasaija announced that Uganda Revenue Authority aims at collecting 31 trillion from the domestic resources, with the remaining 40 trillion to be borrowed. Due to borrowing, Uganda's debt burden stands at 93.3 trillion shillings, equivalent to US dollars 24.6 billion. Economists stress that for Uganda to meet its fiscal target for the financial year 2024-2025, it's crucial to reduce unnecessary expenditures.
You can reduce the government fleet, because remember also our security budget is increasing. The president just said roll out the sub-county policing model. How many police officers per sub-county? About 8. You have over 4,000 sub-counties. Those police officers, where are they going to come from? So if something must go up to balance your budget, something else must go down.
Dr. Muhumuza also addresses challenges facing businesses in light of the new budgetary provisions.
You won't raise revenues when companies are shrinking and closing, and your needs are increasing. The bridges, we badly need to restore the bridges. This country is running a risk of completely being shut down in different segments. Seziba Bridge, Karuma Bridge, Katonga Bridge. What are we going to do? These are major crossing points. Pakwachi Bridge also, I'm told, is not here nor there.
Edgar Munkasa from KPMG emphasizes the need to bolster local entities to enhance domestic revenue collection.
There's a lot more that could be done to unlock some of the sectors, looking at the transport network, say, such that then it's a lot easier, it's a lot quicker to get raw materials coming from out of town. For example, the agriculture that we've been talking about, to what extent are we aggregating to be able to export a lot more, to have a lot more income coming in, and also close out the gap that we have between the imports and exports. So it really will come down to how much more we are able to earn from outside the country.
In the financial year 2024-2025 budget, the government prioritizes education, agriculture, sanitation and hygiene, security, road construction, among others. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
In our sports news, Uganda's medalists at the last Olympic, Peruth Chemtai, Joshua Cheptegei and Jacob Kiplimo, have confirmed intense training ahead of the 2024 Olympics. Take a look.
Elin Naguru has hosted Uganda's sports fraternity to a 42 days to the Olympics dinner.
Let's enjoy ourselves, but above all, let's get behind Team Uganda. On the 25th or 26th of July will be the opening ceremony. We shall have different activation points together with all our partners in about 60 locations across the country, where we'll be having similar events where you can follow Team Uganda on the field of play. So please join us on this exciting journey.
It was organized by the Uganda Olympic Committee and the Paris 2024 Local Organizing Committee that is headed by the State Minister for Sports, Peter Ogwang.
I would like to thank the government of Uganda. We've come a long way in funding. We have experienced a gradual process in growth of investment in the sports in Uganda. And government is becoming deliberate in ensuring that we invest in our youth, exploit their talent, and make Uganda shine in the global arena through sports.
The occasion was spiced by messages from the 3 medal winners from the last Olympics who in a video call expressed readiness.
I am so sorry that I am not able to attend the dinner with you, but I would like to assure you that I am preparing so hard for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. A very big thank you to all the esteemed partners for the support that you give to the athletes.
The Olympics are nearby. I would like to say that I am doing my preparation well so that I can compete favorably in Paris. Apologies, I can't be with you for dinner.
Thank you to our partners for the support.
I will say, I will say prepare well.
The occasion was also used to officially unveil the partners, including Nile breweries, that contributed 200 million Uganda shillings to ensure quality output.
Sports is one of the major disciplines that over the years has been able to consistently put our country on the map. And we are very proud to be associated with sports in general. The Olympics in themselves are a continuation of these celebrations that we have and this close association that we have in sports, in large part because the Olympics have been able to find talent that has been able to raise the flag of Uganda high on the international scene.
The messages from other sponsors like Plascon Paints that injected 125 million Uganda shillings were heartwarming.
I would like to wish our Olympians the very best. As Mr. Ganzi has mentioned, right now we need to give them as much support as possible. And on behalf of Plascon, I would like to invite every Ugandan to join us, light your torch, light your fire together to Akemu Olympics.
Uganda Tourism Board is the other partner to the team that will embark on marketing the country through sports tourism.
We've been working very closely with Uganda Tourism Board to ensure that we harness all available opportunities to market Uganda in Paris, encourage people to come and invest here, and also to come for tourism opportunities. So plans are ongoing to ensure that we have stalls set up in appropriate areas so that Uganda can also be marketed.
Uganda has so far qualified 24 athletes, with 20 from Uganda Athletics Federation, a cyclist and a rower plus 2 swimmers. These numbers can grow to the 40s if the Rugby Sevens men and women teams succeed their Olympic final qualification tournament in France next week.
I believe we can set more records. We can win more than 4 medals. Peru is hitting her peak, and I'm very happy Peru is actually winning.
Semu Ganzu Mugula captained Uganda's team to the London 2012 Olympics and spoke the mind of the athlete during this final bend.
Speaking from my experience as an athlete at my time, this point in time now, there is no turning back. You can't say, you're putting the work, there's no turning back. You've now got to trust yourself and say now, whatever comes. So all we can do is support our athletes and cheer them on, win or lose, by the way.
The Olympics, at which more than 200 nations and territories are expected, start on 26th July till 11th August 2024 and will feature more than 10,000 athletes.
Okay.
For you tonight, thank you so much for watching. My name is Sharon Chomjushe. Stay tuned for more programming coming your way and have a lovely night. Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Evangelist Natalia Trushuk, and I am with the amazing ministry called Christ for All Nations. This ministry is an evangelistic ministry that is based in Florida, USA. We have 14 different offices across the world, and this ministry is founded by Reinhard Bonnke. He was a Mzungu, a German evangelist, that he began his ministry 50 years ago through a dream that God has given him. With 4 consecutive nights, he had a dream that from Cape Town to Cairo, Africa shall be saved. And from